mental health is something that we don't talk about enough. In the black community, well, we're massively overrepresented in the mental health institutions, even more so than in the prisons. And again, these are questions we have to ask. Well, why?
But once you get a control and an understanding of who you are, no one can use you against you. No one can ever use your mental illness against you. You've already spoke about it, so what you got?
The biggest point in life to resolve mental health is like giving a fuck about a person.
Where did you get the courage? I got the courage for 2 words. I care.
It's Chill Will Radio, where connections will be made, advice will be given, jokes will be told, and things will get real. My name is Willis Cooks, and I'm your host. But understand this show is not meant to be used as a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. Enjoy the show, y'all. Good morning, peoples. Welcome, everyone. Get up on this Tuesday morning. I hope everyone's doing good, man. It's Tuesday, 8:02 a.m. Let's get this Tuesday morning popping. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Chill Will Radio, Chill Will Mornings. We out here getting things done this morning, man. I hope everyone's Monday was good. I hope Keith Monday morning got you up and popping. I hope everybody's week started off well, and if it didn't, that's cool. Like I said the last time, you got Tuesday. And if Tuesday don't go the way you want it to go, you got Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and any other day. Right? Any other day. Any other day that your day does not go well, that's fine. Wake up and start the thing all over. Do what you got to do that day. Right? Do what you got to do that day. Always start at 0. You're always going to start at 0. You're always going to start at that point to where you're able to reset when it comes to that mood, when it comes to the things that you have going on in that day. Even though today may have possibly been the worst day in your life, that's cool. That's cool. That next day, let's make it a little better than what it was yesterday, right? Let's not make today worse than what it was yesterday. Let's make today a little bit better. It ain't got to be gigantic. It ain't got to be the best day of your life, even though yesterday was trash. Hell nah, we not trying to reach for perfection. We not trying to be perfect. We just trying to be a little bit better than yesterday. That's all we trying to do, just be a little bit better than yesterday. And make sure you give yourself time to do that. Make sure you give yourself time to do that. So, where we starting at today, man? I'm doing well. I'm doing good. All of my energy is fine. But the one thing I want to ask y'all this morning is where y'all putting y'all energy at? Where y'all putting y'all energy at? I don't know where you at right now in the world, but out here in LA, in Culver City, it's kind of cloudy. It's kind of gloomy. It's kind of dark a little bit. The sun ain't shining like it's supposed to right now. So the one thing I want a lot of you all to put your energy towards that day is just to be bright. Right? Put your energy today towards being bright, towards being that person that lightens up the room, towards being that individual that brings positivity into the room, right? But we not bringing positivity into the room for other people. We're bringing positivity into the room for ourselves. I'm all about being selfish. I don't care what anybody say. Being selfish is not a bad thing at all. You will kill yourself by being selfless. You will stress yourself the fuck out by being selfless, by doing everything for everybody. You will go broke. You will go hungry. You will cry. You will be heartbroken. You will go through a lot of shit by being selfless. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to look out for yourself. So today, the one thing I want everybody to put their energy towards is being bright for themselves. Even if the morning may be cloudy and gloomy, or wherever you at, the sun may be out where you're at. In LA, they just shut everything back down yesterday, which fucked up my whole little mood. I had this cold little workout I was going to do in the gym. I was ready for it, but we can't let certain things get us down. We can't let certain things that we have no control over to fuck us up. If we allow that to happen, then we're not going to have control over anything that we're trying to do in our life. There are going to be people who are going to purposely push our buttons. I say this all the time. Life is about putting people Relationships are about putting people within the role that they are supposed to be within your life. Don't take the turned up homie, the homie that's always turned up to your meditation session. Don't take the meditative homie, the homie that's kind of chill like me, to the turned up sessions all the time, because they are not going to work well with that environment. But you're also going to have people in your life in which their role is to fuck you up. And then you're also going to have people in your life in which their role is to bring brightness into your day. It's to motivate you, right? It's to encourage you. It's to make you and turn you into a better person. But what role are you playing for yourself? That's what I want you to focus on. Be that brightness for yourself. Be that compassion for yourself. Be kind for yourself. Be happy for yourself. Increase that mood for yourself. Do all of these things for yourself. Despite what went on yesterday, despite what went on last week, despite how this morning looks gloomy and cloudy and it's all gray and look really ugly outside, despite all of that shit, be that person that brings brightness into yourself. Period. Because if you are that person that's bringing brightness into yourself, you're automatically going to be brightness into the room, right? There's a sign in here that says, I don't know what the sign. It says like, be mindful of the energy that you bring into the room. Yes, be mindful of the energy that you bring into the room, but be mindful of the energy that you have within yourself. Be mindful of where you're at. Be mindful of how bright you are at this moment, and focus on that. When we start to focus on other people, when we start to focus on, lifting up the mood for the room and things of those sorts, we start to forget about ourselves. That's not what we're trying to do. That's not what we want to do. We want to put ourselves first in many situations. And when you put yourself first, you're always going to bring someone with you. We're not being selfish to use people as a means to an end and being extremely negative with it. It's like, nah, I need to make myself happy. And if making myself happy makes other people happy, great. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with your mood. You have to live with where you're at. You have to do those things for yourself. You got to pay your own bills. You got to wipe your own ass. You got to take your own showers. You got to take yourself to work. You got to do all of these things. You got to work hard for yourself. And if you're not working hard for yourself, no one will. So when your mood is feeling down, when you feeling bad, say today, if you are feeling bad, or this week, whatever, put your energy towards that. A lot of the times we focus on the wrong things. We focus on doing things for other people. We need to get out of that. Put that energy towards yourself. So today, the one thing I want a lot of people in here, everybody that's listening, I want you to be mindful where you're putting your energy at today. And put your energy towards being bright for yourself. Being kind to yourself, being compassionate to yourself, giving yourself time and room to grow and to fuck up. Don't be so hard on yourself, homie. Give yourself that time. That's what I want all y'all to put your energy towards today, okay? But the one thing we're speaking about today, what we're speaking about right now, dog, is regaining your footing, right? That's the title of the show, Regaining Your Footing, right? Regaining your footing is important, beyond important. Because I'm speaking about disappointments. Not how other people are disappointing, but how are you disappointing you? What are you to disappoint? What are you doing to disappoint yourself? Period. How are you doing that? Is it because you're putting all of these crazy ass goals out there? Is it because your standards and your expectations and the principles that you have in your life is too high? How are you disappointing yourself? Is it because you're supposed to be here, but you're not there? You're not where you are at in your life at this specific time? You might be 25 and you don't have that house that some of your peers may have. You don't have that job that you feel as if you should have had at this moment. How are you disappointing yourself, right? Do you have a girl who is a beautiful young lady who has held you down from the beginning, but you done cheated on her with some crazy ass chick just because she looked good, just because she had a fat booty? You gonna cheat on her. And now you broke up. Now she broke up with you. She found out. She went through your phone. A woman hit her up, said she coming to her as a woman. And now you in your car crying because you are lonely and brokenhearted. How are you disappointing yourself? Right? That's what we're talking about today, right? And how to regain your footing after You figure that out, right? Because when you're disappointing yourself, when you're at that place of disappointment, the first thing that you always have to do, you got to acknowledge your fuck ups, homie. Where did you fuck up at? Where'd you fuck up at? Ask yourself that question. Where did you fuck up at? Period. Where did you fuck up at? If you are not aware of where you're fucking up at, you're going to make that mistake again. Period. We have to be mindful of that. Ask yourself these questions. A lot of us are afraid to ask ourselves that question because it's going to force us to look at ourselves in the mirror. And a lot of us, we not doing that. We're not about to be held. We're not about to hold ourselves accountable for the shit that we done. Ain't nobody really out here trying to do that. It takes a very strong person to sit there and say like, yo, I did that. I was wrong. It's grown ass 50-year-old men that ain't doing that. For real. It's grown ass men that ain't doing that. That still struggle with holding yourself accountable, with holding themselves accountable, with all of their fuck ups. They're lying about something that happened when they was 20 and they 58. And you still lying about that girl that you cheated on? She probably at this point don't even care that you cheated on her back then. Just tell the truth, homie. You fucked up. Right? You lying about that job that you say you quit, but you really got fired because you wasn't a good employee. Just say you got fired. People really don't care. People really don't care like that. See, sometimes it's hard for us to hold ourselves accountable because we're worried about what the next person is going to say. Let me give you a PSA, sweetheart. People don't give a fuck about things like that, especially when it's not pertaining to them. People not caring about all of that stuff like that at all. Period. People don't give a fuck about things like that. But also, when it comes to your own fuck ups, and when it comes to another reason as to why you are scared to hold yourself accountable, it's like what I said earlier. You're not trying to look at yourself in the mirror. That's going to force us to be honest with ourselves. A lot of us haven't been honest with ourselves in years. When was the last time you told yourself the honest truth? When was the last time you told yourself the truth that is going to give you pain, the truth that is going to hurt your heart? When's the last time you told yourself that type of truth? You know, because we all out here say we real and we keep it 100, and I ain't lying to the homies and all of these other things, but how are you lying to yourself? Right? So when it comes to the disappointments that you put in your life, the first that happened to you, when it comes to how you are disappointing yourself, the first thing you got to do is to acknowledge your fuck up, homie. Where did you fuck up? You have to ask yourself that question. If you're not asking yourself that question, you're cheating yourself out of the ability to grow. You're cheating yourself out of the ability to become a better person. Period. That's where you need to start at. Where did you fuck up? And the thing about that is, once you begin to answer that question, once you're honest with it and say, yo, I fucked up because I cheated on you with this chick that don't really mean anything, you know? How do you disappointed yourself in that area? You may have disappointed yourself in the other area, but once you acknowledge it, once you are able to say it, hell, write it on the board, put it in your phone, do something. Text it to yourself. Send a text message to yourself. Do whatever you got to do to acknowledge your fuck up. But once you acknowledge it, once you put it out there, once you are brutally honest with yourself and you're able to look yourself in that mirror, it's time to be kind. Right? It's time to be kind. It's time to be respectful. It's time to be compassionate. It's time to be nice. Not nice to other people. Not nice and compassionate and kind to other people. Not respectful to other people. You need to be nice to you for you. Period. Be nice to you for you. That's where you need to be at. Be kind to yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Get rid of all of those shoulds. I should have did this. Get rid of all of those I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to have this house because all of the homies that I done went to college with, they didn't got houses. I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to have this dope ass job. I'm supposed to. Oh, I should have did this. I should have did that. I should have went right when I went left. I should have never texted that chick last night. I should have deleted that text message that I sent to that girl. I should have did whatever it is. Be kind to yourself, homie. Be compassionate to yourself. Period. Get rid of all of that stuff. Get rid of that manual, that fake ass manual, textbook, whatever that society hands to you and tells you that, hey, you're supposed to be this way. You're supposed to be 21 with a degree, and you're supposed to have all of these things by 25, and by 30 you're supposed to have a certain amount of money, and you should be married by this age, and if you're not married by this age, you will never be married. You will never have a wife and kids and all of these things. Fuck all that. No, we're not living up to the expectations of the world. We're living up to the expectations that you place on yourself. The world has these expectations, and frankly, the way things are going now, the expectations of the world, they are not being met because shit is bad out here. Period. Right? So that manual, that manuscript, that manual, that textbook, that whatever that society has given to you that say you are supposed to be this, throw that shit away. If you're 35 years old and you're not married yet, that's cool. If you 40 and you're not married and you don't have a house, that's cool. If you don't have a family at a certain age, that's cool. If you ain't get a degree and you ain't go to school, that's cool. If you dropped out of school and you had to change your route, change your path on where you thought you were supposed to go, yo, that's cool too, big homie. But the thing is, you better be working at some shit. You better be working at, if you're 40, 50 something years old and you don't have certain things in your life, you better be working towards it. You better be doing what you have to do to get towards that thing that you know that you're supposed to get. Period. Because you don't want to have all of these shouldas and these couldas and you just sitting on your ass not doing nothing. Right? Get rid of the shoulds. Because we have to understand, disappointments are directly tied to the expectations that you put on yourself, right? Disappointments are directly tied to the expectations that you put on yourself. So if you put all of these rigid ass, firm ass, thick ass expectations, these high ass expectations on yourself, and you're not ever able to meet them, you're finna disappoint yourself over and over and over and over and over again. Am I saying we should not have these expectations, these high expectations? Not saying that. Am I not saying we should not have these high standards and these high principles and these high goals? Hell no. Reach as high as you want to, homie. Reach for the stars, the moon, all that good shit. However, you better have a plan when it comes to getting towards that. You better have standards and guidelines when it comes to it, right? You better set boundaries in play because there are going to be people in your life who is going to rock your shit up a bit so you can be able to get to that point. If your expectation is that I need to get a house by 30, and you don't set anything, if you don't lay down any type of path to be able to get to that expectation, to be able to get to that goal, it's not going to happen at all. So the disappointment that you're putting onto yourself may be due to the lack of planning, may be due to the lack of steps that you haven't been taking, that you haven't laid down. Because we all have certain goals, but if we're not laying down things to get them done, you're going to always disappoint yourself. Always disappoint yourself, right? So understand, get rid of those shoulds, get rid of all of those I'm supposed to be here. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Be compassionate to you. Be nice to you for you, not for the sake of other people. Be nice to you for you. Say this one more time. Be nice to you for you, not for someone else. Not for the person around the corner. Not for the person up the block. No. Be nice to you for you. Okay? Third thing, understand. One of the things that we got to understand is that we have to give ourselves room to fuck up. Right? Give yourself room to fuck up. Right? That goes into play for what I just said previously in terms of being nice to yourself. Right? We have to understand things are not going to be perfect. You're not going to be able to get to where you feel as if you need to be at a certain time if life comes and fuck your shit up, right? There are a lot of people who have these wild ass goals for 2020. Wild ass goals for 2020. a lot of that shit went to the trash. A lot of people's goals went down the drain because of everything that happened. And it is not your fault. It is not. But understand, if something does happen and it is your fault, if you're the blame, if you're the cause of all of this nonsense, that's cool. Give yourself that time to fuck up. Give yourself that time to be like, okay, cool, this is me. I did what I had to do. Let me bounce back. Because one thing you got to understand is that's going to give you room to grow. Those fuck ups is important, man. If you coming across people who saying, oh, my life is easy, I haven't fucked up in nothing, everything is perfect. That person probably haven't had as many experiences as you had. That person's mindset probably isn't at the point in which your mindset is at. Right? So give yourself room to fuck up. That's going to give yourself room to grow. That's going to cause you to grow. That's going to cause you to become better than what you were yesterday. We're not trying to be crazy better. We're not trying to be, oh no, we're just trying to be better. Because understand, your best is different in many different areas. You may be sick today. The best that you can today is going to be different than the best that you was able to give yesterday. Right? So same with how we're disappointing ourselves. When you're regaining your footing, when you're starting new, when you're getting back up, and when you're standing back up on your pivot, on your 10 toes, understand. Give yourself that time to understand that, like, yo, you're going to fuck up. Things are going to go left. Things are not going to go the way you want them to go. Your plan may not be as good as you wanted it to be. Your plan may be trash, and that goal or that expectation that you set in yourself may be the wrong thing. Right? It may possibly be the wrong thing. But that's okay. Give yourself room to fuck up. Take in those fuck ups. Take in those fuck ups a lot. I've said this previous times before on the show. One of the things that used to mess me up as a kid and growing up is that I used to believe that I was a fuck up. And that used to cause me to think that, like, yo, everything I touch is negative. Everything I touch is going to turn into negative. Everything I touch is going to fuck up. Everything I touch is going to go wrong, going to go in shit. When it comes to school, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to money, when it comes to just being a good person, no matter what it is. But the one thing I had to understand is those fuck ups are teaching you how to move in certain areas. They're teaching you what not to do. They're teaching you how to improve. So when it comes to the disappointment that you've put on yourself because you're not supposed to be where you're at this point in your life, because you haven't got that family, because you haven't reached those goals that you thought you were supposed to reach at this specific age. When it comes to that job that you just got fired from, when it comes to the fact that you get broke, that you become broke every week after you get paid. You get paid on Friday, you broke by Monday. If you're that individual, you're fucking up. That's cool. Give yourself those rooms to fuck up. Give yourself time to make mistakes and learn from them. That's how you're going to be able to grow. That's how you're going to be able to get better. That's how you're going to be able to do all of these things, right? So just to recap everything that I just spoken about when it comes to regaining your footing, when it comes to regaining your footing after you've disappointed yourself, first thing, acknowledge your fuck ups. Where did you fuck up at? Ask yourself those questions. If you're not asking yourself these questions, you are cheating yourself. Where'd you fuck up at, homie? It's cool if you fucked up here. It's cool if you fucked up there. But where did you fuck up at? Let's not cheat ourselves. The other thing, we're trying to make sure that we are kind to ourselves. We're trying to make sure that we are compassionate. We're trying to make sure that we are nice to you, for you. Not for everybody, not for anybody. Be nice to you, for you. Right? Get rid of the shoulds. Get rid of the I'm supposed to be here. Get rid of the manual that society has given you and said, hey, you're supposed to have this degree and you're supposed to have this job and you're supposed to get rid of that shit. Throw that shit away. Burn it. Throw it away. Do whatever you got to do to it. Stop looking at that. Right? Your disappointments are directly tied to the expectations you put on yourself. Stop comparing yourself to your peers. A lot of my peers that I graduated from college with, they have houses now. They do. They have houses now. Certain people have businesses. They're traveling a little bit more. They're doing certain things that I'm not doing. Does that bother me? No. Should that bother you? No. Everybody's path is different, right? Stop comparing yourself. Get rid of those shoulds. Be nice to you, for you. That's the second thing. Be kind to yourself. The third thing, give yourself room to fuck up. Give yourself room to make a mistake, because that's the only thing that's going to cause you to grow. That's the only thing that's going to cause you to rebound, to cause you to get on your footing, to regain your footing and not fuck up anymore. Right? Give yourself room to fuck up. Where did you fuck up at? Be kind to yourself. Be nice to you, for you. And the third one, give yourself room to fuck up. Period. When it comes to regaining your footing, take those 3 steps to be able to get back on your shit. Because it could be a while before you get back right. It could be a while before you get back right. It could take a minute. It's not like it's going to take a few days. Not like it's going to take a few months. Nah, it could take a minute. Sometimes it could take a few years. But it's the work that you're putting into it. Right? It's the fact that you're looking at all of this stuff, all of your mistakes, as a way to be able to help you become stronger. And if you're not looking at it like that, you're cheating yourself out of the opportunity to grow, big homie. All right? So do those things to regain your footing. Now, moving on to the last little piece, this self-care piece, the one thing that I want you to work on is to work on something new. Find something new to work on, right? This whole show I've been speaking about disappointments. How are you disappointing yourself? One of the things I brought up multiple times is the goals that we set for ourselves. Sometimes we set off these goals. And we can't find the motivation to work on that goal. We can't find the motivation to work towards that one thing that we said we want. Okay, cool. Put that away. Work on something new, right? Every week, work on something new. Every week, every month, work on something new. Work on something that's going to reset your mind, right? Bring a little bit of flavor into the mix, into the routine that you have. Bring something new into it. Bringing something new into these things, because that's going to give you that extra boost. That's going to give you that extra boost that you need. That's going to send you off into another area that you probably didn't know that you liked. That you probably didn't know that you were supposed to be here. Right? Work on something new. It don't matter what it is. It could be something that you probably thought you would never do. It could be something that you threw away 2 months ago. It could be something that you're doing with your girl. Whatever it is. Just work on something new. Period. Because we always need to reset our system. We always need to reset our mind. Because if we stick, routine and being structured is a great and positive thing. But if you stick to that routine day in and day out for months, if you stick to that structure day in and day out for months, you're going to get bored. You're going to turn into a robot. You know, you're going to lose. You're not going to be encouraged to be able to do it. You're not going to feel passionate about this work, because it's like, I'm just waking up doing the same thing. I go here, I clock in at this time. After I clock in, I go check in with these people. After I check in with these people, I go do. Nah. Throw some shit into that routine. Work on something new. Okay? So just a brief recap of everything. Where are you putting your energy at today? Being bright for the sake of yourself. Right? When it comes to regaining your footing, 3 things. Where did you fuck up? That's 1. Ask yourself that question. Where did you fuck up? 2, be nice and be kind to yourself. Get rid of all of those standards and those shouldas that you're supposed to be. Be nice to you, for you. That's 2. 3, give yourself room to fuck up. Period. Self-care piece, work on something new. Work on something new to help reset your system. All right? It's Tuesday. Everybody get up. If you're not listening to this live and you're going to be hearing this later on, hey, get up. Let's start the day off right. If your day is already started, you just now listen to this, let's continue to have a dope ass day. If your day isn't cool so far, hey, let's make it work. You have control over your mood. You have control over where your day goes. Shit is going to happen. Things are going to go left. But you have control over how far left it goes. Period. All right? So understand, ain't no wealth without your mental health. So please stay blessed and take care of yourself. Be great, y'all. Peace.